You are listening to Unravel with Natly Denise.
I don't know why it did all that. It's just being very dramatic tonight. My production is just being very dramatic. And guess what? Guess who's behind the production? It's me, myself, and I. All the time. It's just me. There's no one here producing this. There's audio now, right? There's audio now. There should be audio. Should be audio. You're here. Okay. 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 I'm just making sure that there's audio. All right. Okay, so I'm back, guys. What's going on? Welcome back to Nightly with Natly. I got a few stories for you guys. Of course, you guys can always find me here Monday through Friday at 9:30 p.m. Central Time, and that is 10:30 Eastern, 8:30 Mountain, and then 7:30 Pacific Standard. Yes, that's right. We can hear that ponytail loud and clear. I love it. Okay, let me see. I love to read where you guys are. MAGA from Boston. What's up, Boston? I got Santa Fe, New Mexico. What's up? Raleigh, North Carolina. What's up? What else? Central Florida. Very cool. Very cool. All right. So what do I got for you as far as a rant? Of course, I've got rants every day. And it seems to be that you guys love my rants because some of these rants include tea if you really know how to read between the lines. And so with that being said, I want to paint a scenario. I want to paint a scenario for you guys. Okay. I want to paint a scenario. Let's just speak in hypothetical terms, right? Let's just say there are two grown ass men, right? In their late 20s, early 30s, grown ass men, right? These two grown ass men, they live at home. Well, no shade to people who have to live at home too, right? No shade at all. I had to do that most of my 20s. Okay, so I'm not putting shade on anybody because there's always very unique situations. But hear me out on the entire scenario. Two grown-ass men who live with their parents. So their parents pay their bills, their car, buy their clothes, pay for their internet, all these things. These two men cause a lot of chaos within a community. Let's say it's just a community of, I don't know, people who want to do good in the world, right? And so what they do is conflate stories and make very loose connections, and they conflate all of these falsities to go after people and even get mad when people are very commercial, meaning that they own businesses or, maybe they sell a t-shirt. They go after people who are making an honest living for themselves. But remember, they're living at home. They get their internet and their clothes and all their things paid for by their parents. Would these two men who live at home, don't really know what a hard work for a dollar really means, and who get everything handed down to them, going after people for making an honest living, whether it be e-commerce or, whatever, any sort of merchant type of, whatever. They will drag down those people. They will try to make loose claims, but yet they don't really know what the heck a hard work is. They don't know what climbing the ladder looks like. They don't have real life experiencing adversity or experiencing, the word no, but yet they become very powerful people. What would you guys say about that? What would you guys say about that? They become very powerful people to the point where they manipulate a community. They manipulate a community and drive many, many followers. And I'm telling you, I'm just speaking in hypothetical terms. It could be a church. It could be that they start a Boy Scout club or a stamp collection club or whatever. And they do it on the behalf of this club. Let's just say a stamp collection club. They do it on the behalf of a stamp collection club. And they use that basis of that club to say, we have credibility and we're going to go after all these people, because we deem that they are not credible, because they deem that they are not credible. And they drive very many manipulated people. They say these things, they drive these narratives enough to where they actually psychologically manipulate these people to follow them in everything that they say. What would you guys say to that? What would you describe that as? And these many people then become weaponized. Okay, so maybe they're following a stamp club. They're, they're following the stamp club. They accumulate all these followers, but then these followers of the stamp club that are headed by these two dudes that I am describing here, they weaponize, and they actually, now all these followers also go after the people that they deem not right or not meeting their criteria. They hate hustlers. Yes, that's I was going towards more cult. I was going towards more cult, But yeah, hey, Heslin, I guess that could be also part of a cult, right? A cultic tactic. But anyway, I just wanted to paint that perspective for you guys. Two dudes who don't have a real job, can't hold a job down, live with their parents. Their parents pay for absolutely everything, including their resources, their internet, their phones, their communication devices. But yet they don't have a basis or experience enough to have the credibility to go after people who are doing better than them. So I just want you guys to put that in perspective. It's not majority of the narrative if they splitting is pushing sick cultist mentality. That's what Stemmer says. It's not a majority if the narrative they are spitting is pushing sick cultist mentality. That's a really good point. It's not majority because if the narrative they are spitting is pushing sick cultist mentality, then essentially these people are being manipulated and they're psychologically manipulated. What if all these other followers are in the same position? They also have very broken backgrounds, are not really achieving much for themselves. Identify with these two harmful dudes and what I don't know what that was. Did you guys see that? It was just like a black screen. Let me move to the news. Because that was a little, that's never happened. Let me move to the news because that was a bit scary. There was like a black screen that just popped up and it was like, what the hell was that? Okay, let's just move on to the news. But anyway, I just wanted to paint that scenario for you all. See what you guys had to say about that. That's so strange. That's never happened. Someone trying to hack you. I'm scared. Let me take this off. I have my webcam uncovered, so I just covered my webcam. Okay, so let's get to the news. All right. So House Oversight Committee will investigate Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival, where 10 concertgoers died of compression asphyxia during the crowd surge chaos. So 10 people who were killed in Houston on November 5th after a crowd surge at Travis Scott's Astroworld concert. The victims ranged in age from 9 to 27, and multiple lawsuits have filed in connection with the case. On Wednesday, the House Oversight Committee wrote to the promoter, Live Nation CEO Michael Rapino, to ask for his cooperation with their investigation. The committee has asked for information on security planning, briefings, their crowd control measures, and what they will do to prevent future tragedies. Live Nation must provide documentation on the questions by January 7th and briefing to committee members by January 12th. Interesting, but that committee doesn't sound, I don't know. House Oversight Committee is propelling this investigation. What do you guys think? You think anything will come of it? Oh no. What's going on? I keep freezing. Guys, spooky things are happening on this podcast and I don't know what the heck to think. I don't know what the heck to think, but it's it's acting okay. So it looks like it's doing a little better now. But anyway, what do you guys think will come of that? Astroworld has just been it's been a mind tizzy because, there hasn't been a lot of information that's been, released about this. Of course, there's been a lot of lawsuits that were propagated in the matter. That could also be a factor. Maybe, they don't want to talk too much to catch themselves, saying something wrong that might, I don't know. But I don't think a lot's going to come out of this, to be honest with you. I've been keeping tabs and up to a certain point, information just stopped coming out about Astroworld. And I was one of the ones who was keeping tabs on this entire thing. It's just very, very strange. But I don't think much will come out of that investigation. All right, moving on. The reason why I didn't do a recap today on my main channel was because there was no verdict reached today. Ghislaine Maxwell, she's going to probably or most likely spend Christmas Day on her 60th birthday, locked behind bars in a hellhole prison cell as jury breaks for the holiday without reaching a verdict in the sex trafficking case. Well, I mean, she was going to spend a lot longer than that if she's found guilty. Ghislaine Maxwell will spend Christmas Day in a 10 by 12 prison cell as she awaits a verdict in her high-profile sex trafficking case. The jury of 6 men and 6 women broke for the holiday, meaning that they're not reaching a verdict. Wednesday afternoon without reaching a verdict and resumed deliberation on Monday, December 27th. Despite not being found guilty, any of the alleged crimes, Maxwell will spend Christmas Day, which is also her 60th birthday, behind bars at the Metropolitan Detention Center that she's described as a hellhole, and where she's been held since her arrest in July of 2020. Judge Allison Nathan told the jury that they could deliberate on Thursday if they had not reached a verdict by the end of Wednesday, but the jurors decided against it. Maxwell has maintained her innocence, and her lawyers have bashed her accusers as a false memory and being motivated by money. In legal filings earlier this year, Maxwell claimed that her treatment in prison is so bad it would fit for a Hannibal Lecter. I mean, if the shoe fits, right? I mean, does the shoe not fit? Ken says, "Aw, poor Maxwell," in sarcasm, I'm pretty sure. But does that not fit? Did you hear what she said? It's fit for Hannibal Lecter. Were her crimes not atrocious, or the alleged crimes at least? At one point, Maxwell barricaded herself in a video conference room in prison with a cart of legal documents. Prosecutors claim that it was deemed a security threat by locking the door and preventing guards from accessing the room. On Tuesday, the second day of deliberation, the jurors appear to be zeroing in on 2 accusers. They deliberated for the whole day Tuesday and sent 4 notes to the judge, including one which related to Annie Farmer. They wanted to know if they could use her testimony for 2 counts of conspiracy to entice and transport an underage girl to engage in sex acts. And Judge Allison Nathan said that she would tell them that they could. So it looks to be that there's some sort of contextual clues that might allude to maybe something happening in regards to some convictions of hers. They're asking on a testimony that the witness accuser provided that would probably tie to two convictions, or 2 counts. I agree. This trial has been a joke. It has been very, very speedy. I don't quite know how to. I don't quite know how to else to articulate this trial, but it has been very questionable, very fast as well. But anyway, Maxwell will spend Christmas in a cell. Then hearing from one of the world's Lord and Saviors, and when I say the world, I'm talking about people who love this narrative. Bill Gates, one of their saints, Fauci being their main worship, I guess we could say. Bill Gates, one of the saints of the woke, says that the worst part of the pandemic is coming, and he's canceled his holiday plans because his close friends have tested positive for the cocoa. Oh, really? That's what Obama said he was going to do. Obama said he was going to stop his party of 600, and he didn't. He kept his party going. But Bill Gates says he's so shaken, he's so spooked in his space boots that he's canceling everything. So he says. Bill Gates, he warned of millions of Twitter followers to brace themselves for the worst part of the planned-pocalypse, and announced that he canceled his holiday plans after his close friends tested positive for cocoa. In a series of tweets posted on Tuesday, the Microsoft co-founder said his 56.5 million followers to take Optimus Prime variant seriously because it's spreading faster than any virus in history. Just when it seemed like life would return to normal, we could be entering the worst part of the planpocalypse. Optimus Prime will hit home for all of us. It's like a movie. It's like a movie, you know, it's hitting off theaters soon. Optimus Prime will hit home for all of us. Close friends of mine now have it. I've canceled most of my holiday plans, he wrote. Well, I wonder what his plans were before, right? Like, because it's not like the planpocalypse wasn't already happening. I wonder what those plans looked like before. Was it like 600 people like his friend Obama? A DJ, a caterer, perhaps? Interesting. Gates. His tweets come after Dr. Anthony Fauci, the top, so they claim, one of the U.S. people perpetuating all these planpocalypse fears, urged Americans to disinvite. He urged Americans to disinvite unpoked in the arm people from Christmas gatherings. And the fast-spreading Optimus Prime variant fuels infections nationwide. Oh, look at that picture, yo. Yo, it's late at night. It's pitch black in the dark. You hear a noise in the kitchen. It's pitch black in the dark. You hear a noise in the kitchen. You turn on a very dim light, something not necessarily lighting everything in the room. And the light reflects and makes out an object. You intensify the light by turning on another. And this shows up. And this face shows up with his mask and his grimace. Bro, I would run. I know. I would snatch his wig and probably, yeah, I've got, you know. But anyway, I don't want to get too graphic. Okay, I'm having too much fun. I'm sorry. This is his tweet, by the way. That's what he said. The worst part is coming. Optimus Prime. My friends have it, so I canceled everything. He says, we're dealing with a serious enough situation now, and that if there's unpoked in the arm people, I would say, I'm very sorry, but this is not the time. Maybe another time when this is all over, said Fauci in an interview with MSNBC on Tuesday night. Could you imagine? Hey, but I bet you some of your family members are actually taking this. I bet you some of your family members are taking this very, very seriously and are probably going to disinvite you, right? Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Along with your unpoked uncle up in your fridge. Yo. Ken says, okay, let's go back to my scenario here. Ken says, I can't stand this. I can't stand this. Ken says, okay, let's go back to my scenario. You walk in your kitchen. It's all dark. Turn on the light. You make out an object. You intensify the light. You turn it on. You see this face. And it is standing right in front of you. And Ken says, nude. Yeah. I really can't stand it. I really can't stand it. We have too much fun here. Okay. So anyway, I bet you some of your family members are canceling. You're right. My mom just canceled our party. That's says Brazil. I knew it. Everybody has one of those family members that are like, this is super serious. And we've got to, you got to do a test at the door. You got to wear a mask, or you got to come with your poke card. Show us that you're poked. I bet you anything. It's really redonkulous. Currently, Optimus Prime accounts for 73% of new cases in the US. How do they know? Is there like a specific test for Optimus Prime? I thought there wasn't. So anyway, outside of that, there's just this guy thinks he's an MD. Optimus Prime, let me read you his tweets. Optimus Prime is spreading faster than any virus in history. It will soon be in every country in the world. The big unknown is how sick Optimus Prime makes you. We need to take it seriously until we know more about it. Even if it's only half as severe as Delta, it will be the worst surge that we've seen so far because it's so infectious. In the meantime, we all have to look out for each other, especially the most vulnerable, whether they live down the street or in another country. That means wearing masks, avoiding big indoor gatherings, and getting poked in the arm. Getting a booster gives the best protection. Okay, look at this. Like, he has millions of followers, only 644 retweeted this. Maybe it was early on. Who knows? There will be more breakthrough cases in the people who are poked in the arm, which sounds concerning, but it's purely a factor of how many people are poked and how fast this variant is spreading. Pokes are designed to prevent people from getting seriously ill or dying, and are doing that well. Bill, get your ass out of here, bro. Bill is such a dirty thug, yo. He's such a dirty thug. What? A poke in the arms are designed to prevent people from getting seriously ill or dying, and are doing that well. I don't know about that. If there's good news here, it's that the Optimus Prime moves so quickly that once it becomes dominant in a country, the wave there should last at least 3 months. Those few months could be bad, but I still believe if we take the right steps, the planpocalypse can be over in 2022. I know it's frustrating to go into another holiday season with 𝘏𝘶 looming over us, but it won't be like this forever. Someday the planpocalypse will end, and the better we look after each other, the sooner that time will come. Bill, get the hell out of here, bro. Like, and like, he's talking on this as if he's like some epidemiologist. Like, he knows this for sure. Whatever. I'm getting cheese fries. Let's move on. All right. Speaking of the 𝘏𝘶 planpocalypse. So you guys know that, many of these corporations, a lot of these big pharma people, they've gotten really, really rich over the course of 𝘏𝘶, right? Because 𝘏𝘶 has been a money grower. It's been a money tree. And it's almost by default because everybody now has to get testing. Everybody now has to, you know what I mean? So there's like a lot of money in it. Well, there's different industries that are scamming off of this planpocalypse. The most outrageous relief fund scammers busted so far. These 𝘏𝘶 crooks are getting a jab of justice. This is coming from the New York Post. Nearly $100 billion of 𝘏𝘶 relief funds have been defrauded across the United States since the planpocalypse began. The Secret Service announced Tuesday, adding that there are almost 1,000 separate investigations into these startling financial frauds. 2 high-profile athletes have already been cuffed for the crime. U.S. Olympic speed skater Allison Marie Baver is accused of ripping $10 million off, as well as former New York Jets wide receiver and one-time millionaire Kenbrell Tompkins, whose damages are in the hundreds of thousands. There have also been plenty of average Joe perps getting busted after spending their lavish relief dough on trivial purchases such as flashy cars or rare 5-figure Pokemon cards. What? Gotta catch them all, right? Okay, I don't, what? That's true. I don't doubt it. A group of deceitful dingbats in Brooklyn were also found out after posing online with some $2 million of ill-begotten relief funds. How? Read the most ridiculous and egregious 𝘏𝘶 relief scammers that have been caught so far. How does this happen, though? How does this happen? 41-year-old Baver, who medaled in the U.S. women's 3,000-meter relay team during the 2010 Vancouver Games, was brought up last week on money laundering charges and 8 counts of making false statements to a bank. Here, let me close this up. This might be taking up my CPU. That's probably what it is. She made a false statement to a bank after allegedly defrauding an estimated $10 million of 𝘏𝘶 funds, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office, District of Utah. She applied for 8 Paycheck Protection Program loans in April of 2020, seeking $10 million for her production company, Allison Beaver Entertainment, which she founded in 2019, 2 years into her skating retirement. Baver allegedly BS'd the government into believing she had a monthly payroll of $4.7 million, where she actually had done none at all. According to court documents, she also claimed that she employed between 100 and 430 people, which the feds are alleging to be phony. 𝘱𝘐 also transferred $150,000 to another production company behind the August release Ted Bundy film No Man of God, a film she cameoed on KTSU reported. Prosecutors are aiming to make 𝘱𝘐 forfeit about $9.7 million of her funds. She could also do 40 years in prison if convicted on all accounts, according to KTSU. She's due for arraignment on January 18, 2022. I mean, can we do the same, but like for the actual government, all the pork that they're spending on, you know, like I know this is wrong. But who's keeping the pork spenders accountable? You know what I mean? What's going on here? All right. Who's the next fraudster? Former Jets wide receiver Kenbrell Tompkins pled guilty to one count of unauthorized access device fraud, the theft of banking or credit cards, and one count of aggravated identity fraud last October. He allegedly stole the identities of unemployment benefits while in California. Tompkins was awarded $300,000 in debit cards under false pretenses, which was sent to the address he was using, according to the Associated Press. The AP also reported that he withdrew $230,000 of the Miami-Dade County. Tompkins, who spent an uneventful 2015 season in Gang Green, is scheduled to be sentenced on January 6th, irony, and faces up to 12 years in prison. This Brooklyn man spent $2 million on fancy cars. And then this little young guy, how does this happen though? Truly, how does this happen? How does this happen? How did these type of people get the COVID? Like, I don't even know how this happens. Even young people spending that much money. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Look at this cool cat with all his cocoa funds. Look at this cool cat with all his cocoa funds. I didn't even know that could happen, honestly, to be honest with you. Right. Pivoting on to the Daily TrafficK, where I bring you guys the latest in human trafficking news. Okay, this is a wild story going on here. This is from the Daily Mail. A kidnapper, 39 years old, asked judge to release him from jail because it would be nice to go home for Christmas and see his kids after he abducted and raped a student, 19, who was found naked and covered in coal dust in his basement. This is a crazy story. A Utah man made his initial court appearance on Thursday for kidnapping of a 19-year-old college student who authorities say was found naked and covered in coal in his basement, 5 days after leaving her dorm room to meet him. Brent Brown, 39 years old, pled the 6th District Court judge to release him on bail so that he could spend Christmas with his children. He was speaking via video link from the Sevier County Jail, where he was held from the time of his arrest on Saturday. Brown faces charges of obstruction of justice, aggravated kidnapping, rape, and object rape targeting 19-year-old Snow College student Madeline Allen, whom he met in an online fetish chat room, according to court documents. Brown allegedly took away Allen's wallet and phone, forced her to strip naked, and tied her up while she was at work, later claiming it was part of a kidnapping role play. The teen also accused her captor of threatening her family. So why is this not charged as human trafficking, is my question. Does that not sound and spell out very loudly human trafficking? That's what that sounds like to me. And why is there no charges for holding her against her will, too? That's very strange and scary. Judge Wallace Lee appointed an attorney to represent Brown and ordered him content without bail, citing his being wanted on a felony warrant from another county and posing a possible threat to the community. When given a chance to weigh in on the bail, Brown said, "It would be nice to be home for Christmas. I don't get to see my kids," although he held this kid down in the basement. Brown is due back in court for a combined detention and preliminary hearing on January 10th. So this is the girl, I assume, and does this actually show? I don't know if this shows a kidnapping. Let me see. Doesn't actually show a kidnapping. Okay. All right, continued on. Court records indicate that Brown has had multiple run-ins with the law over years, stemming from a wide range of charges, including traffic violations, assault, and witness tampering. In March of 2018, a warrant was issued for his arrest at Box Elder County after he failed to appear before a judge in a witness tampering case. He racked up an additional warrants in the intervening years, including a failure to appear on traffic citation in Cache County and for an unknown charges last year in Wasatch County. Brown's social media presence paints a picture of self-styled macho cowboy with a day job working as an equipment operator. His Facebook profile picture displays a young Clint Eastwood brandishing two guns, accompanied by the caption, "The West wasn't won on salads, East beef." The page is brimming with, memes and glorifying DJT, law enforcement, and Second Amendment rights, criticizing Obama, President Biden, and mocking cocoa restrictions. I'm telling you, they come in all forms, these traffickers, pimps, and abusers. Wow. And he even listen to the look at this. He even posted this. King should scare you more than cocoa. This guy, dude. Believe that? Can you believe that? The irony. He literally held this girl against her will, raped her. Sounds like human trafficking to me. He posts this on his page. I'm telling you, an image posted on November 7th shows a young girl holding a sign that reads, "Human trafficking should scare you more than cocoa." When Allen, the girl, failed to return home the next morning, her roommates filed a missing person report. Investigators learned that Allen had been struggling with depression and anxiety, and she used dating apps. A search for her phone records revealed text exchanges of a violent sexual nature, according to the affidavit. When police were looking for Allen, she was in Brown's home in Iowa, nearly 90 miles away, where, according to court records, the relationship between the college student and her date became non-consensual and violent. The affidavit stated that Brown took away Allen's phone, allowing her to only text her family words, "I love you," December 14th, a message that alarmed her parents, with siblings prompting them to go to the authorities. Brown allegedly tied up Allen while she was at work, took away her wallet, and threatened to come after her family and sister if she were to tell anyone about him. After Brown learned that the police were looking for him, he threw away her phone, but not before the authorities were able to use the cell phone tower data associated with her December 14th text message to track her to Iowa. As police officers were scouring the small town of 500 inhabitants, according to the affidavit, they spotted a petite woman with blonde hair in a basement of a home on Main Street. When they knocked on the door asking about Allen, the man who answered, later identified as Brown, told them she was alone in the house and refused to let them in without her parents' permission. Officials obtained a search warrant and entered the home on Saturday, where they located Snow College identification card belonging to the missing student. During the subsequent search of the residence, police found Allen alive in the coal room in the cellar, naked and covered in coal. The affidavit stated that the police officers found Brown to be in possession of a gun and 3 knives, reported by Gifford Daily. Under questioning, Brown allegedly admitted to meeting Allen in a slave domination fetish group on Keek and picking her up December 13th. Brown also reportedly said that he took away Allen's phone, kept her tied up to prevent her from leaving and threatening her family, but he claimed it was a small part of her sexual role play involving kidnapping scenario. Authorities, however, said that Allen was being held against her will. According to the affidavit, Allen confirmed to the police that she had been communicated with. She had communicated with a 𝘏𝑗𝐿 user and nicknamed Cowboy and agreed to meet him on December 13th at Snow College. Allen said that after Allen, I think they're both named Allen. That's very confusing. Or maybe the author was confused, used the wrong thing. They said that Allen brought her home in Loa. He made her strip naked and prohibited her from putting her clothes back on for the entire duration of her captivity. According to the affidavit, the following morning after Brown took away her phone, Allen became concerned and that she would not be allowed to leave. She said Brown always had a large knife in his belt. The 19-year-old student claimed that her alleged captor raped her several times, even though she did not want to have sex with him, and that he once choked her. Allen said she did not try to leave because Brown knew her family address and had made threats against him. She said Brown told her that he had mailed her phone to the southern border so that nobody could find her, and later claimed that the police had stopped looking for her. So she's very scary. And that is a warning for any young person out there, especially those that are in high school or that are or that are in college classes or whatever. This is a very, very scary, very scary story. And these young people can be so deceived so fast because this is just, society is normalizing this, right, in the first place. And so when it's normalized, they're saying, oh, own your sexuality and do all these things. It's your right to own your sexuality. No one has a right to tell you how to do this or that. Yeah, but there's certain constraints that actually make it very, there's certain moral values that actually make it safe for you, right? You should adhere to moral values and not go the other way like this so extremely. But these are the dangers. This is what they face. It's insane. What keeps blowing up back there? I don't know. Tonight's stream is weird. I'm having a whole bunch of technical glitches and slow camera. Like I'm gonna have to restart my computer tomorrow before the stream. Next story. Coming from the Kansas City Star, teen girls given money and drugs in exchange for sexual favors by a diner owner, feds say. In Iowa, a man convicted of grooming high school girls and providing them with money, alcohol, or drugs in exchange for sexual favors was sentenced to 3 decades in prison. Herschel James Ratliff, 71, of Council Bluffs, was convicted in July of 6 counts of human trafficking and 1 count of distribution of a controlled substance to a minor, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of Iowa. On Thursday, December 16th, a judge ordered Ratliff to 30 years in prison. Prosecutors say that Ratliff used his business, Jimmy's All-American Diner, and other rental properties to recruit victims from 2012 to 2019. That is a long time. Court records show Ratliff opened the diner in 2019 and employed between 25 and 30 people. The investigation began in August of 2019 after a 14-year-old reported Ratliff had made sexual advances towards her. According to the prosecutors, numerous other young adults were later determined to be victimized by Ratliff when they were in high school, federal officials say. Ratliff groomed teenagers after cultivating and trusting relationship with them, convinced them to engage in various sex acts with him and his friends for money, alcohol, or drugs, prosecutors said in a news release. Just check on the screen and make sure I'm doing okay. All right. Coming from the DACA Tribune, Human trafficking gang busted in Dhaka. 3 held. The Rapid Action Battalion claims to have busted an international human trafficking gang and has held 3 men in Dhaka. The detainees have been identified as Malik Razul Haq Salim and 2 others. Acting on a tip of team of RAB 4 conducted a drive to Mirpur and Uttara, areas of the capital, and detained the 3 human traffickers on Monday night, said A&M Imran of RAB headquarters during the drive. The elite force also seized fake passports, visa stamps, photos, mobile phone sets, SIM cards, cash, and other documents from their possession. Captain Mulzamel Haq on a press conference on Tuesday said that Salim was a ringleader while 2 others were his associates. 7 more people were involved with them in different areas, including Dhaka. During the interrogation, the detainees confessed to the RAB officials that they would lure their potential victims with job offers in countries like Australia, Portugal, Netherlands, Romania, Greece, France, Malta. However, their targets were trafficked to India instead, the RAB officials said. The gang tortured their victims physically and mentally in India. Later, they showed the videos of family members of the victims and demanded ransom, Mulzamel said. The RAB officials said each victim paid TK 12 to 15 lakh. I don't know what that means, for getting jobs in Australia and Europe. The gang also used to collect money more as ransom while detaining the victims in torture cells in Delhi and Kolkata. Legal action would be taken against the detainees in RAB 4, the chief said. All right. With that being said, muchachos y muchachas, why is there a small black screen? Oh, a small black screen. Oh, you guys are talking about the movement in my background. No, it's a video background. Guys people are commenting about my video background, but I will catch you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much for tuning in to today's cast. I really appreciate you. Please be sure to share this channel with somebody. Make sure that you tell them that I'm giving you guys the best news, or news that's not talked about, especially the trafficking news. I really appreciate you all and for your support. I'll catch you guys in the next cast. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Unravel with Natly Denise. Please give this podcast 5 stars.